Hi from Portugal again. I switched places and lived for a few weeks with a lovely little family who is part of a bigger community of around 50 people. And they even built a kindergarten and school for the little kids. And the land is quite big so that you don't necessarily meet your neighbors, and each family has their own little land and house, projects and jobs. But they still make time to work together on their big goal of living an autark life close to nature together. I was also helping out a lot in the garden, and it kind of feels like meditation to me and gives me so much calmness and excitement at the same time. And as you can see, my favorite herb at this time is fennel. It's so delicious, either raw in a salad or as a pesto. I not only had a little greenhouse, but also quite a big garden with everything from berries to beans. And they all needed a lot of water as it is quite hot all the time. But my main job was to help them to rebuild an old ruin next to their main house with a round roof. Definitely made it on my Pinterest board for future home designs, and it's so fascinating to see how they managed to build constructions like that. During my stay, we worked on the plastering of the walls, for which we needed a special self-made clay mix. This mix consists of 4 different components. A kind of porridge made from water and flour, as you just saw before. There's self-made clay, which normally takes about 4 to 6 days to be ready to use. Fine sand and fresh horse shit, which I collected nearly every day from the cutest horses. It really takes a lot of time to know how much you take from each material, because it can't be too wet or too dry, and you also have to be aware of the right weather and temperature, that it should not be too warm or too cold when you apply it. And then it's time to mix it pretty well. And the hardest part was to find the right technique of applying it to the walls with the right thickness so that it would stick and has kind of the same level all around. As you can see, it still looks a little rough, so you always have to go over it 1 or 2 times with a wet sponge to make it smoother and even out any remaining bumps. In the beginning I was completely covered in this clay mix because it would not stick, but with time I got better, and in the end it was even fun to do it. So don't give up, it will work out. After work there was always enough time for some me time. And here I collected some herbs and plants like nettle, fennel and dandelion, and cut some orange peels to let them dry in the sun and have some delicious tea for the next days. And this cute cat was always in need for some cuddle sessions. And sometimes I also try to just do nothing and just be in the moment, which is sometimes quite hard for a person with 1,000 ideas, but I'm really in the process of relearning the art of doing nothing and embracing it without feeling unproductive.
Shadows gone with summer skies pulled me in under its eyes. A new city to get lost in, always wanted to see Austin. Heard you running round again. Thought about when we first began. I was maybe 23, and you were kind